Hello, hello. Thank you for joining me in my studies today. I read a book a week and externalize my studies by sharing vocal readings of the passages that are most prominent to me. This week I'm reading from Sri Ramana Maharshi's Be As You Are. Here we are reading from chapter 12, Life in the World. And this is a statement by David Godman, the editor of this book. Sri Ramana Maharshi consistently refused to give his devotees permission to give up their worldly responsibilities in favor of a meditative life. And he always insisted that realization was equally accessible to everyone, irrespective of their physical circumstances. Instead of advising physical renunciation, he told all his devotees that it would be spiritually more productive for them to discharge their normal duties and obligations with an awareness that there was no individual I performing or accepting responsibility for the acts which the body performed. He firmly believed that mental attitude had a greater bearing on spiritual progress than physical circumstances, and he persistently discouraged all questioners who felt that a manipulation of their environment, however slight, would be spiritually beneficial. And here on page 129, we're moving into statements by Sri Ramana Maharshi in the question and answer format transcribed in this book. The mental obstacles are always there for you. They even increase greatly in new surroundings. It is no help to change the environment. The one obstacle is the mind, and it must be overcome, whether in the home or in the forest. If you can do it in the forest, why not in the home? Therefore, why change the environment? Your efforts can be made even now, whatever the environment. What is the undercurrent which vivifies the mind, enables it to do all this work? It is the self. So that is the real source of your activity. Simply be aware of it during your work and do not forget it. Contemplate in the background of your mind even whilst working. To do that, do not hurry. Take your own time. Keep the remembrance of your real nature alive, even while working, and avoid haste, which causes you to forget. Be deliberate. Page 131. If you want to go to fundamentals, you must inquire who you are and find out who it is who has freedom or destiny. Who are you? Why did you get this body that has these limitations? Solitude is in the mind of man. One might be in the thick of the world and maintain serenity of mind. Such a one is in solitude. Another may stay in a forest, but still be unable to control his mind. Such a man cannot be said to be in solitude. Solitude is a function of the mind. A man attached to desires cannot get solitude wherever he may be, whereas a detached man is always in solitude. We're moving into the chapter on yoga. This is on page 138. Yoga, directly translated as union, implies prior division, and it means later union of one thing with another. But who is to be united and with whom? You are the seeker seeking union with something. If you assume this, then that something must be apart from you. But yourself is intimate to you, and you are always aware of it. Seek it and be it. Then it will expand as the infinite, and there will be no question of yoga. Find out to whom is the viyoga, separation. That is yoga. Yoga is common to all paths. Yoga is really nothing but ceasing to think that you are different from the self or reality. All the yogas, karma, jnana, bhakti, and raja, are just different paths to suit different natures with different modes of evolution. They are all aimed at getting people out of the long-cherished notion that they are different from the self. Page 139. This is in response to the question, when should one do pranayama or breath control yoga, and why is it effective? In the absence of inquiry and devotion, The natural sedative, pranayama, breath regulation, may be tried. This is known as yoga marga, the path of yoga. If life is imperiled, the whole interest centers around one point, the saving of life. If the breath is held, the mind cannot afford to, and does not, jump at its pets, external objects. Thus, there's rest for the mind, so long as the breath is held. All attention being turned on breath or its regulation, other interests are lost. Suppose there's a hill. There will be very many paths to climb it. If a jnani, a liberated one, were to ask people to climb by the way he came, some may like it and some may not. If people who do not like it are asked to climb by that path, and by that path only, they will not be able to come up. Hence, a jnani helps people following any particular path, whatever it may be. Page 143. The truth is that from the self the ego rises up, confuses itself with the body, mistakes the world to be real, and then, covered with egotistic conceit, it thinks wildly and looks for asanas, seats, or yoga postures. Such a person does not understand that he himself is the center of all, and thus forms the basis for all. The asana, seat, is meant to make him sit firm. Where and how can he remain firm except in his own real state? This is the real asana. A seeker asks, in what asana is Bhagavan usually seated? In the asana of the heart. Wherever it is pleasant, there is my asana. That is called sukhasana, the asana of happiness. That asana of the heart is peaceful and gives happiness. There's no need for any other asana for those who are seated in that one. I think that this is a good place to conclude for today. The seeker is asking, does my realization help others? Sri Ramana Maharshi answers, yes, and it is the best help that you can possibly render to others. But really there are no others to be helped, for the realized being sees only the self. Just as the goldsmith sees only the gold while valuing it in various jewels made of gold. When you identify yourself with the body, name, and form are there. But when you transcend the body consciousness, the others also disappear. The realized one does not see the world as different from himself.